Have you seen the recent headlines? There have been several news articles reporting that Austin is the second most overvalued real estate market in the entire United States. What do you think? Is it time to panic? Should you be buying? Should you be selling? What is it you should do? Maybe the question you should be asking is, what exactly does it even mean that Austin is the most overvalued real estate market? Stick around for this video and I'll break it all down for you. All of the news stories out there are based on a study that was jointly done by two universities in Florida, Florida Atlantic and Florida International. They published their findings in a news release and several media outlets picked up the story. Now I admit, this makes a great headline, especially for someone who might be interested in buying in one of the cities that made the top 10 on the list. In fact, one of the real estate economists / associate dean actually said in the news release, in the top 10 markets, potential buyers might want to consider renting and reinvesting money that they otherwise would have put into home ownership. Renting and reinvesting has been shown to often outperform ownership in terms of wealth creation. Okay, so I understand that you're an associate dean and you've probably got some credentials. And as a real estate economist, you should be able to answer this question. When in recorded history has renting outperformed home ownership? Hasn't every report concerning the racial wealth gap focused on the differences in home ownership percentages? And if home ownership has created this wealth gap, how can renting be considered a better option? Not to mention that if you're writing a check every month just for the right to live in that house, not seeing any of the appreciation or the tax benefits, where's the money going to come from to invest in these stocks that are supposedly going to outperform real estate? Remember, if I'm borrowing money to buy a house, that stock would need to appreciate 4 times faster to keep up. And that's if I invested 25%. If I put less money down, the stock would need to perform even better just to match the return on the real estate. But unfortunately, the qualifications to invest in real estate, stocks, or anything else does not include knowledge, common sense, or using accurate data. The only requirement is that you have the money available to purchase the asset that you're interested in investing in. And bad data, whether it's misleading, biased, or just flat out wrong, is probably the #1 reason for most bad investment decisions. Which brings us right back to this report done by these two universities in Florida. The primary source of the data that they used in this report was the Zillow Home Value Index. Now I know that Zillow is very popular. I would even venture to say that every single person who's thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate at some point is going to go to that Zillow website to get some kind of information. But even though you may perceive it as the authority, there are several things you may not know specifically about the actual data that Zillow has access to. Or probably a better way to say it is the data that they don't have access to. And the biggest one is accurate sales data. Think about it. If you're going to do any kind of report on home values, don't you think it's pretty important to have actual sales data to base your report on? Now, since you probably don't believe me, let me give you an example. This house is in Leander, Texas, and over the last 6 months, it has been sold twice and is currently listed for rent. The original owner bought it new in May, and that transaction does not show up on Zillow. There was a job transfer, so the house was listed for sale in June. We can see 2 different listings and some price adjustments, but the actual sale that took place in September is not there either. It is currently listed for rent, and there have been some price adjustments, but when it is actually leased, that transaction won't show up here unless it's manually entered on the Zillow site. So if you're doing a report on home values and you don't have access to accurate sales data, how is anything in that report going to be of any value whatsoever? And how can a report based on this kind of data be picked up by media outlets and then disseminated as some type of a news story? The real danger is there have been a lot of people who have read those articles and who are currently basing their real estate decisions on the information they read in that article. And remember, we're only talking about several $100,000, and the decisions that are made are going to have a long-term impact on that individual or family's ability to build wealth. The purchase of the primary residence is the single most important piece of building long-term wealth. Please be careful in what you're accepting as accurate information. Well, if you like this video, you ought to check out this other one that I did. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. All of my contact information is in the video description, so don't be shy. Let's make your real estate dreams come true.